Speaking of how things are going, how I know that you and I talk about, we didn't really get to talk about it that much this year, but very briefly, we set goals for 2025 and fairly extensive, specific goals, which is, I think, I think scientifically has been proven to increase your likelihood pretty dramatically of achieving them. And goals can be looked at as resolutions of a sort because you're resolving to do these things. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Business Lunch with your host, myself, Roland Frasier, and the wonderful and hatted today, Ryan Deiss. Ryan, you are home because of an ice storm, I understand.
Happy casual Monday. Yeah. We typically get 2 seasons in Austin, Texas. Scalding surface of the sun, hot, and blizzard. And we're apparently about to experience the latter of those. There's like 3 or 4 days out of the year where it feels like California, where you live. It's like
But the
really
thing
nice.
is that houses cost almost nothing in Austin, right? I mean, so like the cost of living is significantly lower to reflect the, climatic challenges.
That statement was definitely true 15 years ago.
I know. I
which
love it.
thankfully was when I was buying all the houses and stuff.
Which
Oh
is
God.
good. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no, that's great. Hey, yay me. Sucks for everybody else coming in, but no, yeah, we're working from home today, and I forget, man. Like, it's really not. I enjoy going into an office. I don't know about you, and I know this isn't the topic of what we're talking
I
about
do
today, but
not enjoy going into an office.
you see, I've always liked it, and I think, for me, like, and early on, it's like having little kids running around, and so that was tough, to not get distracted and to be able to kind of stay focused. Like I sort of needed to get out of my element, and then
That would
also,
be for sure.
yeah, yeah, but then like during COVID, when we really couldn't go anywhere, what I found is that like I never stopped working because I didn't have the break, right? And so
Mm.
it develops a lot of bad habits. And so I found if I just like go into an office and I start work around 9 and I leave around 5:30 or 6, like I just kind of maintain a better pattern. But man, sometimes it's nice just to like say, screw it, I'm not. So I think maybe I'm going to try like once a week, just working from home and getting some more creative work done. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you
It's
posted.
that severance thing where you're like, if you could you live that life at work and then you live that life at home. And when you walk out the door, it kind of, you move into the other. It's kind of interesting. I think the concept of that show is interesting that way. But also you have, and we both have the benefit of an office that we built for ourselves to have a dedicated space to be. Because I think it would be really hard if you were working and didn't have that. Like if you were trying to work out of your bedroom, sitting in bed all day, or in the living room while your family was trying to live their lives. That, or even in the, like, I think the dining room is a typical place people will try to do that. My dad used to grade papers and do work at the dining room table, because it was a kind of quiet, but I was running around going, so that can be tough. But
Well, I'll tell you on that again, not the topic, but I
I
was
mean,
on
it
a
could be the
sales.
topic.
No, I don't think we had enough. We'll see. I was on a sales call the other day, which I don't do them very often, but like we were looking at a particular technology tool, which was a higher level tool, like a higher end kind of thing, premium priced. And the person that I was talking to on the other line, it was clear that they were just, you know, it was a remote company, but like where their setup was, yeah, I mean, obviously just kind of their kitchen table in the background. I remember thinking like, it's not 2020 anymore. Like I feel like if you're going to be selling a premium tool and doing kind of like premium level offerings, you should probably be in like premium surroundings a little
Yeah.
bit. And I don't know, like
Yeah.
don't look like you're in your pajamas still. I
Yeah.
think a lot of that is starting to shift back a bit, where it's not just okay to be on your sweats, which I do right now. Basically, I'm doing this podcast in a hat and in my sweats for those who aren't watching. So total hypocrite.
This is your Eastern European gangster look,
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Jumpsuit.
Yeah. It's very intimidating. I'm a little nervous about how this is going to go.
I get that a lot. Yeah.
Speaking of how things are going, how I know that you and I talk about, we didn't really get to talk about it that much this year, but very briefly, we set goals for 2025 and fairly extensive, specific goals, which is, I think scientifically has been proven to increase your likelihood pretty dramatically of achieving them. And goals can be looked at as resolutions of a sort because you're resolving to do these things and aspiring to do them. And we were talking a little bit before we went live here about, was it International Quitters Day? Is that what you said? Or just Quitters Day generally?
Yeah, I think it's National Quitters Day, but my guess is it impacts. We could just as soon say it's international. But yeah, January 10th, which we're now just on the other side of, but that is National Quitters Day. So this is the day that by January 10th, essentially everybody's given up on their New Year's resolution. Is the idea. So,
10 days.
10
You got
days.
365, 10
Yeah.
days in. And I thought that was interesting. I don't know if you have yours handy or want to share. I pulled mine up just to kind of like temperature check how you doing, on what you set in place. And as I'm looking through, I'm feeling pretty good. I've really made family stuff the most important thing this year, from romantic with my wife to family with our two kids and their families to spending more time. I've actually been pretty good. The only things that haven't happened have not happened because of challenges in scheduling, but everything has been like we actually set up to do it, and then something came up and we said, oh, we'll have to do that a week later. But I feel pretty good about that. And then on the social side, I'm pretty good on that. I'm on the musical side, which is its own separate category for me, which I guess you could say is fulfillment and stuff. I'm pretty good on track on that. On the fitness, I haven't hit the ice bath as much. That's a big intimidating body of cold water to jump into. It's just not. I've done the cold showers, but haven't done the ice bath as much as I want. But other than that, I mean, actually, I'm actually pretty on track, and I'm mindful because I'm looking at them, which is one of the reasons that you want to write them down, because if you don't write them down, you can't look at them and go, hey, how am I doing? You're not measuring, what is it? They say what gets measured gets managed. So how are you feeling about yours? And then I want to talk about kind of what happens that causes us not to hit them. And then I know business-wise, we set some pretty good ones that, even we're, as we record this, basically 2/3 of the way through the first month of the year. And, we got to do some stuff to make those happen. It's all in process, but it's tough. Particularly, it's tough to stay the course and not say, well, I'm not getting it as fast as I want. So maybe I either change the goal, move the goalpost, or I changed the strategy, but I didn't give the other strategy the full chance to work out. So let's go first with how do you feel like you're doing with yours so far? And if there's anything that's taking you out. For me, the only thing that's really been is schedules of all the people that have to be there. And let's start with that.
Yeah, same as I look at it. So far so good, but it's early. Still plenty of time to screw it up. I similar to what you do. I said I try to have like one big business goal a year, one big kind of relationship, like wife, marriage goal, family related goal, and then a health goal, and then some type of avocational habit, hobby goal. Right. So that's kind of how I will spread mine out. And I will look to accomplish those generally by the end of the third or fourth quarter. So it's tough because I'll set goals that are obviously like lag goals, but then what I do is I back into what are the habit goals that I need to establish this year that I believe if I complete these, it'll make those far more likely. So
I like it. You've got leading indicators for your goals.
Right. Like these are the habits that I don't have right now that I believe are essential for me to develop if I want these goals to happen, and not just happen, but to then become baked into my lifestyle. Because I know, for example, there are extreme things that I could do to like hit a fitness goal, let's say. But if it doesn't get habituated and baked into what I'm doing, then it won't stick. And I do think that a lot of this is true with business as well. And so I appreciate what you said about, I mean, we're looking at these goals that we have, and I kind of feel like, coming out the first week of the year, you had the first, January 1st was like on a Wednesday. And so I feel like we didn't really start working until like the 6th, the 7th. So we kind of didn't have the first week of the year.
Yeah.
And that was kind of coming off of December where we didn't have that whole week, as well. So it was like there was 3 weeks of
Yeah,
nothing, with
because
just the fact
because
that
Christmas
Christmas.
Day for us, Christmas is the one we celebrate. So Christmas Day was on a Wednesday, and then New
Yep.
Year's Day was on a Wednesday, and then you were at the 6th, and so like you kind of the whole like 19th ish all the way through the 6th was nobody wanted to do anything, and even if you wanted to do something, which I didn't, um,
Yeah.
no one else was around, right?
Yeah, because of that, I found that even coming back, like normally, I'm like ready, like raring to go. Like after the break, I'm like, let's go. I had such a nice, long, relaxing break that I was not particularly ready to get going again.
Yeah.
My oldest son, who's back from college, like he literally left today. Like he was still like home with us, so he was still on summer break. So I'm like, I got another week here. So I feel like, if I'm being completely transparent, like I feel like I'm behind. Everything feels like it's behind because I feel like I let the summer break, I'm sorry, the kind of the holiday break bleed over into like halfway into January. And so I feel everything feels like it's off to a slow start. And the tendency is to do what you said, which is like, well, we obviously need to shake things up to get caught up. What I say to myself is I give myself permission every 90 days to reevaluate and change my goals. So I've got that just as built into my goal setting thing. And I
Mhm.
do that because, one, just stuff happens. Life happens, change happens, new information, new data comes in. And so I think just to set a goal, in January, and just to like force yourself to stick to that through the end of the year, when sometimes crap happens and sometimes good crap, just to me seems arbitrary.